Here I am. Sorry, we
Hi,
are
it's
like
okay.
always, oh God, we're just like, how do we do this? I don't know. Like I said, it's like, Instagram Live with your mom and dad, I guess.
You're so silly. You're so silly. It's so nice to see your face again.
It's so nice to see your face. How are you? I love your hair.
Oh, thank you. It's a mess. All right,
Can
please
you
read.
can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly. Yes.
Oh, okay, good, perfect.
All right, please reintroduce us to yourself.
I am Meredith Silverman, wife of Matthew, Twitter personality, and blogger extraordinaire.
Oh my God! Did you recently got Twitter verified?
No, I didn't. That was actually just a joke based on what the outgoing president said about, I won the election. I was like, oh, is this how you're doing this now? Okay, fine. I'm Twitter verified.
But you have like over,
huh?
You have like over 1,000, like 10,000 followers, don't you though?
Yeah.
So why don't you have a blue tick yet?
I don't know. Probably because I'm not as famous as I think I am in my own head.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
So silly.
Yeah. But anyway, that's okay. Maybe someday, if I ever get really famous, or I'm I don't know, on a TV show, or I become a public figure again, like I think I am in my own head.
But you are a public figure, though.
Oh, well, I guess maybe on Twitter.
Okay. So we talked previously before,
Mm-hmm.
and before, I don't know if you heard me talking before you joined on, but I feel like you're kind of like a correspondent to current events.
Yeah. I try to keep things current. I'm really into. I am a news junkie. I mean, I'm constantly watching the news. If I'm not watching the news, I'm watching it on Twitter. And I like to really kind of keep up with current events because things are changing just so fast.
Yeah. So let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's
Okay.
talk about the election from a unbiased point of view.
Okay.
So how is this possible that this is still a debate that who's going to be president or not?
Well, this is really has been actually history in the making, and I know the historians are going to be absolutely brutal. I mean, there has never been an outgoing president that has not, or a president that has lost the election and has not conceded. I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen this in my lifetime, and I'm just floored that all this is actually going on. It's like, dude, you lost, It's like Ferris Bueller. What are you still doing here? Go home. Go back to Mar-a-Lago. But I am really just shocked at all the lawsuits and all the this and all the that, and it's just a giant waste of taxpayer money and time and everything else. And I'm just like, I don't get it, other than the whole thing about being a very, very sore loser, and it honestly, it just boggles my mind that this is even happening right now. And I'm just hoping that, it's terrible that we have to literally wait 2 months for our new president, once he's, been elected, but there's, verification. Everybody's got to verify their votes, and, the electors and all this and everything else. I mean, I know in other countries, there's, I think I saw this on Twitter today. In other countries, once somebody else is in power, that's it. Boom, transfer power, the end.
I recently saw, I believe it was in South America. Please don't fact check me if I'm incorrect.
Not at all.
But they tried to get a new president, but the protests were so bad that he backed down.
Wow, that's crazy.
Do you think that's going to happen with us?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
I believe when come January 20th, Joe Biden is going to get sworn in. He's going to be inaugurated as the president of the United States, and the winds of change will blow. And they're going to blow Trump right out the White House.
Are you hopeful for Joe?
Yeah, I am. I like Joe Biden personally as a person, and I'm impressed with what I've seen of his administration so far. I think that I make no bones about the fact that I'm a very staunch Democrat, and I believe that Joe Biden will, and Kamala Harris too. First of all, I love having a woman and a woman of color in the White House. I mean, that's amazing. There's so many little girls right now who are going to be able to grow up and go, hey, I can do that too. See, look, we had that, and she looks like me, and I, you know, I mean, not me, because, you know, I'm, anyway.
No, you're fine.
We
know what you mean.
But yeah, you know, you get the idea. But it's really so encouraging to me to have a woman in the White House, you know, and so I'm just really completely enamored of this administration.
Cool. Do you think there's a difference between being nice and being kind?
You know, I think about that often, because I think a lot of people use those terms interchangeably. You know, you can be nice and you can be kind, and you know, I think you can do both. I mean, I'll give you an example. Let's say you and your friend are going to go out, right? And you're going to put on your little outfits and whatnot, and you know, your friend is wearing something that is not flattering, and she looks at you and she goes, God, how do I look in this? And you know, you can say, God, that makes you look like a, you know, fill an insult here, you know, and and that would not be, and it would not be very kind to either say that, or it wouldn't be nice to say that, and it would not be kind to let your friend go out looking terrible in an outfit. You know what I mean? So there's your kindness, and the nice thing to say is, that's not real flattering, rather than, oh my God, that makes you look more hideous than your ex's new flame. Take it off. You know, so I think you can be nice and kind at the same time. I think the terms can be used interchangeably. I think, you know, there is a difference in the technical definition between the two words, but I think you can be nice and be kind. You know, I think there's an old song from the 70s talking about you have to be cruel to be kind, and I don't subscribe to that at all.
But I've never heard that song. You had to be cruel to be kind.
Yeah,
I've never heard that.
Doesn't it make sense? Doesn't make sense, does it? Well, you know,
it does make sense. Wow, I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's like old from the 60s or the 70s or something. Now I have to go fact check myself and look it up.
So let's talk about the ongoing pandemic.
Oh, yes.
I know. So there are a strip of bars in Florida and New Hampshire that have not been following the rules.
Yeah.
Because it's technically outside.
Right.
You know, and people are still going out there. So what the hell is wrong with people?
You know, how much time you got? I mean, really, you see it all over Twitter. You see it in your hometown. You see it. I don't know if you saw this. I was so pissed off the other day because we ordered food on the once in a great while. You know, we ordered trying to you know, help stimulate the local economy. So we order food from this pizza joint, and sure enough, here comes a guy, no mask. No, and I'm like, what is wrong with people? What are you doing? Why? I don't want you breathing your COVID breath all over my food. You know, God, I hope it didn't have COVID or whatever. But I mean, you know, it's a lot of the doctors say, you know, act as if you're infected and everybody's infected and act accordingly, you know? And so if that's the case, then put on a mask. And everybody's all talking about, I don't have to put on a mask. You're obstructing my constitutional right. You know, okay. Well, then, you know what? I don't want to be sick, so I'm just going to. And then the other thing is, well, if you don't want to be sick, then just stay home. Well, okay, I will. And if I have to go out in public, I'm going to put on a mask. And it just seems like common human decency and courtesy to put, you know, it's especially even if it's, you know, they say, the experts have said that when you wear a mask, you protect others more than yourself. And to me, it would seem like, you know, you'd want to protect because nobody wants to be sick. Being sick sucks, you know, and I from what I've seen of COVID, it really sucks. You know, I mean, you know, what was it that the governor of New Jersey said? You know, wearing a mask is uncomfortable, but so is dying, you know? I mean, dying's a little more. What he said? Yeah, he said, so, you know, dying's uncomfortable too. Maybe a little more uncomfortable.
I like that.
You know, and if I could save somebody from that kind of fate simply by wearing a mask, I'm going to do it. You know, I am not that worried about my civil liberties. That's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous that wearing a mask has become a political point. You know, it's not political. It's common human decency. It's saving your fellow man from getting sick. Hello. You know, I want to go to these people and go, come on, Miss Life. Hello. It's not that hard. You know, and that's what spawned my blog. I was just like, what is wrong with people? I can't get it. I cannot wrap my head around it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it was the way I was raised or whatever, but I just cannot wrap my head around the fact that, why wouldn't you do your part, wear a mask? Every medical expert is like, wear a mask. It's, I feel like Mr. Anger.
Do you think that's a result of social media though? Because I've been thinking about this a lot for the past 48 hours, where we get our research from these opinionated articles rather than the experts. Whereas Dr. Fauci said, hey guys, take it seriously, but you read this conspiracy theory video. Someone showed me a video. They were saying that like the vaccine contains this and that, and I'm like, that's what most vaccines contain.
Right, exactly.
That's why don't we trust actual doctors versus these conspiracy theorists like Alex Jones, which no diss to Alex Jones, I love him, but why don't we trust the actual educated people as opposed to the conspiracy theorists?
I never really thought about that before. I think it depends on who has the most charisma and who has the most. I mean, think about it. People followed Hitler. He was crazy, but he was charismatic enough to, get people to follow him and engage in the things these horrible things that he did. I mean, it's like when people are brainwashed into a cult, and I think generally people hear what they want to hear. If they don't want to hear it's that serious, they're going to find some site that's going to tell them, don't wear a mask, everything's going to be fine. If you get it, you'll be fine, whatever. And they'll be like, okay, and they'll go about their business. Because that's the easiest thing to do. You know what I mean? And I think if people, really paid attention and listened to the science and tuned into the experts, who, I mean, and no offense to like any of the experts out there. Personally, I find it fascinating, but I'm an information junkie, but there's a lot of people who are just like, oh, and your expert is speaking in doctor and technical jargon and, and they're not trying to hear it.
It's true.
What I mean? Yeah. And so I think, honestly, that's why people will go for more of a conspiracy theory. And I think people, also some people want to be, I want to be a part of something. And if I can be part of this conspiracy theory, then I know something that you don't know. And I'm going to tell you. And then I feel, good about myself. But there's a lot of psychology, I think, involved.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Duh. Oh, duh. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Jojo just said, I still understand why people are freaking out about wearing a mask. It's not taking away your freedom or whatever the heck they're whining about. I think that a lot of people are thinking that it starts with the masks, and then next is you're not allowed to walk out of the house with, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
so people are linking this. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be on lockdown. It's like, well, let's see. We're going to be on lockdown because you're not wearing a mask. And if you look at places like Tokyo and, in Japan where people wear masks as a matter of courtesy, you know what I mean? And it's a different kind of a culture. We're a very me-centric culture, it's all about me, and I want to do what I want, and it's about me, and you're not going to tell me what to do, you're not going to, like the gun fanatic. You're not gonna take all these guns out of my cold dead hands. You know what I mean? You're not gonna you're not gonna make me wear a mask in Walmart. Gosh darn it, And it's just like, wow, holy cow. Oh, okay, Jethro, calm down. It's not that big of a deal. Put on a mask, and you can do it. Surgeons do it in hospitals for 12 hours a day. You can do it for 15 minutes at the Piggly Wiggly.
Wiggly Wiggly. Oh, I saw that. I think you posted that on the In-N-Out restaurant.
Yeah.
Was a line. Is it that good?
No. I mean, it's okay. it's I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not. I mean, it's good. It's fresh tasting, and the Animalize is really good. But I mean, is it worth waiting 12 hours? Hell no. There is nothing on this planet. You know, the only thing I think worth, like I said, worth waiting for is when people were waiting 12 hours to vote. That's important. 12 hours to wait for a burger. No.
That's so funny because when you said that, I thought to myself, 12 hours waiting in a Disney line. Yes.
Exactly.
My priorities are wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I've 12 hours waiting in it. Even that, that's, I mean, I've waited in some long lines before for an experience, and sometimes I remember going to Disneyland back in the day, and 2 to 3 hours was like, okay, checking Twitter. And it was kind of like we're all waiting in this line. We're all kind of here together and whatever, and, misters, and that's all nice. But I mean, to wait 12, what if you got to go to the bathroom?
You don't.
You know what I mean? You better have that 7-Eleven cup, with you for, or something. That's all I could picture. I can't wait. I mean, me, I'm 47 years old. I have a bladder the size of a thimble. I can't wait in line for an hour anymore. I'd be like, ooh, I got to go. No, this is just not happening.
Okay, so you have tattoos, plural, right? Plural?
Yes.
Tell us your tattoo stories.
Okay, so this one is a little. I'll show you this one because I don't mind seeing this one. The other one is a train wreck. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I was 19 years old. I'd survived a terrible car wreck, and I thought to myself, in my little 19-year-old brain, I'm gonna go get a tattoo. Now, why I would want to commemorate this with a tattoo, I don't know. But again, I was 19. I didn't know any better. And then the other one is a phoenix. It's like a phoenix, and it's got a Jewish star right here. You can kind of see part of it, and it's just I don't even want to show it to anybody because honestly, it was like my midlife crisis tattoo. I thought I'm gonna go get me. I want a big old tattoo. Matter of fact, I want to go get sleeves, so I'm gonna go get half a sleeve, and it'll be fine, and eventually it'll be a full sleeve, and it'll be terrific. And then like how like some people go through a midlife crisis and they buy like a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Okay. If instead of if this was a car, if I had to compare this to a car, instead of a Ferrari, I got like a broke down beater that like had a really nice paint job until the paint started flaking off and it started breaking down everywhere. The brakes went out and it doesn't have reverse. And I mean, it's just, and I'll be honest with you, all the color's gone out of it and it just looks terrible. It looks terrible. And that, what I learned from that is that research tattoo artist, 1 or 2, don't get a tattoo. Or really, if you're going to get a tattoo, really come in with a design and do your homework because, laser tattoo removal is really expensive and it's really unpleasant, and it's going to be like 3 times the amount of money, or it used to be. I don't know if it's less expensive now, but it's going to be like 3 times the amount of money that you paid for the tattoo. So really, that is a little proposition where you really want to do your homework and or like I said, or don't get a tattoo because tattoos are expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, tattoos are very expensive. I mean, this monstrosity on my shoulder cost me $1,200, and I could think of a lot of ways that $1,200 could be better spent. You know what I mean? But if it turned out to be a fantastic tattoo and I loved it and I was showing it off, I would probably think it was money well spent. So, what is it? Let the buyer beware. Carpe diem. That's the caveat emptor. That's what it is.
Is that Matt?
What? Yeah. Do you want to? You want to? Come here. Ashton said you could get on camera. There. Hello.
Hey, you guys are so cute.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh,
you guys are so cute.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't want to get lipstick on.
Thank you. I'm gonna cry later. Okay. So your handle is Archangel Crew.
That is correct.
Is that a Supernatural reference?
Like the TV show?
Yes.
I have never watched Supernatural in my life. I know, and I've heard people talk about Supernatural, and I would think it would be like right up my alley, but for some reason I am like really weird about like if everybody likes like a certain show, like Game of Thrones. Like, I refused to watch Game of Thrones.
You've never seen Game of Thrones?
I have never seen Game of Thrones. I think somebody tried to get me to watch it, and I watched like 15 minutes of one episode, and it was all, it's a very adult, centered show.
Yeah,
I guess you could say.
Yeah, Tish could not watch it. Yeah.
And I guess the scene that was on was just like, oh my, I was like, oh, no, I don't like, no. And I mean, that's fine, you know, and that's fine, everything. But I mean, but if I am just like, I am the type of person where somebody tries to, oh, you got to watch the show. You got to watch the show. It is like pulling teeth. And it really, like, I will eventually do my own research and decide. And then, you know, and if somebody like, you know, it's like if somebody I don't like anymore has tried to get me to watch a show, I won't watch it just out of spite. Like my ex tried to get me to watch this show, I'm not going to watch it out of spite. Forget
it. Same though, for real. So where did you get the name from then?
I am a very big I'm like a very big angel person, and I would always read like the Bible stories and stuff about like the archangels and stuff. And I also read a lot of books by Doreen Virtue, who wrote a lot of books about like the miracles of Michael the Archangel and the miracles of Gabriel the Archangel. And so I became very much of a fangirl, I guess, like an angel fangirl. And I really, you know, so I was trying to hunt around for when I started my Twitter, I had just read a book by Doreen Virtue, and I was like, what am I going to call? I don't even know what to call myself. And so, I mean, I guess I could be like, if I was on a pit crew for archangels or something like that, you know, how like the racers have pit crews and stuff. That's kind of how I came up with my handle, and it just stuck. I never, and one thing that I don't think anybody knows about me is I usually don't stick to one handle. I usually change my handle or change it to something else. And I've stuck to that for like I think I've been on Twitter 6 years now. Wow. That's a long time. But yeah.
I love that story a lot.
Oh, thank you.
I like that better. I like that better than being a fangirl of Supernatural.
I just really, I am, and like, you know, and like, I mean, who wouldn't want to, like, you know, imagine hanging out with, you know, this great big burly angel who's like 8 feet tall and has like a flaming sword, and, you know, like, who's all like bright light and lit up, and, you know, can just, anyway, but yeah.
If you could describe the internet in one sentence, what would it be?
Not use what it's intended for. No, I don't know. No, I would think
right. Right.
And I would say it is both a technological marvel and a technological monster. I mean, we are helpless without the internet. We shop, we communicate, we get our news, we get, you know, we do social media. I mean, I grew up in a time where we didn't have any internet. We had like a bulletin board on Prodigy where, you know, you had to log in over a telephone line, and sometimes you made it and sometimes you didn't. And now the internet is like, you know, we are just helpless without the internet. I remember when I'd be at work and the internet would go down, you're just like, you know, we got nothing. And so, I mean, I guess a way of life, and I mean, it's really kind of hard to describe that, but I would say I would have to probably stand with because I mean, really, the internet used to be used for like to be a replacement for like the Encyclopedia Britannica. You might be a little before your time, but you know.
No,
really,
no, I had that.
Okay. So you get, you know, but now we use it for just everything. I mean, if I was, again, like I said, a technical marvel and a technical, you know, it's like two sides of the same coin. You know, it's like the yin and yang. You got the marvel and the monster, but you know, probably the internet is probably one of the most essential workers we have right now. You know. Because people are ordering things, we're shopping, we're using the internet for just about everything, because we can't get out of the house. We can't go anywhere. You can, but, you know, you got to be real careful about it. You know, it's all like everybody's doing like all these internet Black Friday sales, and, you know, you can't, because people aren't going to go to the stores. You know, nobody wants to be out in a, you know, crowded Walmart with wall-to-wall people right now, you know, and even people who like to fight, nobody's going to want to be boxing over a 55-inch TV in Walmart right now. You know what I mean?
I never thought of it like that. Yeah. So what's your beef with fleets?
Oh my God. Okay.
I've been looking forward to your reaction.
First First of all, I am not a creature of change. So it's just like, I was like the last person to go to CDs. I was like the last person to get on Facebook. I was like the last person and so I really like when I see all these stories and all this, and it's like, okay, I get it. That's, that's Instagram, that's Snapchat. I mean, if first of all, okay. First of all, oh my God. Okay, okay, let me contain myself. Okay. First of all, it takes up room at the top of my feed. I see the little bubbles at the top of my feed. And then it wants to say, talking about, here's a tweet only for 24 hours. First of all, screenshots are forever. And it's people going to be out here talking about, oh, girl, I got the receipts. Let me show them to you. And I mean, I'm not a fan. I am not a fan. I've read people's, I've kind of looked at it and I'm just like, I'm not doing this. Make it go away. I don't like it. So yeah, not a fan. If I wanted to be on Instagram, I'd be on Instagram. If I wanted to be on Snapchat, I'd be on Snapchat, but I'm not. I'm on Twitter. So just don't throw with my head,
But are people really using Snapchat still though?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't have a Snapchat. Do people still use Snapchat? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have a Snapchat. I don't have Instagram. I don't have Facebook, and I understand that they're all the same now. And so I guess Twitter was probably like, oh well, we gotta be like everybody else. It's like I want to tell Jack, look, if Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat all jumped off a bridge, would you? No, I don't think so. And the worst part is about there's no way to turn it off. There's no way to, you can't just disable fleets. And so somebody told me you can go through and mute all the fleets. And I'm just like, I'm not doing that. For crying out loud. I mean, I may not be sitting around doing nothing, but I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that. I got like 6,700 people. I got time to go to no mute. Oh my God, I'd be a little skeleton sitting on the couch with a phone in my hand talking about this.
So this isn't one of the questions that I asked you, but I was watching this stand-up thing, and I really want to ask you this. So if the aliens, okay, whatever. If the aliens came down right now,
yeah,
and they said, "Hey Meredith, who should we talk to? Who would you recommend they talk to?
Who should we talk to? Me." No,
But what would you say to them? What would you say?
What's up?
What's up?
Be like, how you doing? How's it going? I would say probably who should they talk to? Probably you know who they should talk to? Leslie Jones.
Oh.
I love Leslie Jones. She was one of the funniest people I have ever seen in my life. So I think they should talk. I don't know if you caught she was announcing all the election results, and we were on over video, and we were just dying. I would think I hope they would talk to somebody that would make them laugh. So in case they weren't very nice, they don't blow us all up. It's hard to blow up somebody after you make them laugh. So.
That's true. Yeah, ease the tension.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that answer. I like that. Okay. What is the worst thing? Before I ask this question, some context for why I emailed that to you.
Okay. So
they just decriminalized a lot of drugs in Oregon.
I heard about that. That. Mm-hmm.
So the context behind that question is, what's the worst thing that the government can make not legal that is not hurting us? And also, do you think that was a good idea or is it a bad idea?
Okay, so you're asking me what is the thing that the government can decriminalize that would reduce crime and stuff like that, and as long as it's not hurting anybody? Honestly, I was going to say all hard drugs, first of all, because there is, honestly, a case in point is in Portugal, they decriminalized all hard drugs. Their crime rate plummeted. And so did actually drug use, because, I think what a lot of behind drug use is, it's you're doing something wrong. You got to go to this and you're going to this, and it's all, it's taboo. And so, you know what I mean? And once you take the taboo away from it, it's like, oh, this is what this is about. Oh, ugh, I don't like this, and, or if somebody wants to go do it, go do it. I mean, you want to clean your house at 3:00 in the morning and, take your electric fan and make it into a weed whacker. I mean, as long as you're not hurting anybody, be my guest, just don't drive and don't, go to work, go to work. Don't be in a safety, sensitive position where, you don't want to be high as a kite, but like, I think when you take the taboo away from something, it really can, here, for example, I think sex work should be legalized. Mm-hmm. I think if it's not hurting anybody, it's consensual, and like if you tax both of those things and, put the money back into the government, we could probably pay off the national debt, and so I think a lot of once you take the criminalization away from it, you take the taboos away from it, and you can probably, I would think it can be turned into a positive thing, I think what people do in their own personal time is their own business, and it we shouldn't have to live in a police state, mm-hmm. in that in that kind of like I said, with hard drugs, with sex work and stuff like that. If people, if I think, like I said, to come back to my original point, once they're decriminalized, then the taboo goes away, and people can go and do it and find out. I mean, I think life would be a lot easier if people just wanted to, like in Amsterdam, they have like at the coffee shops in Amsterdam, you can buy pot, drink your coffee, and nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
I like I said, as long as nobody's getting hurt, kids aren't getting neglected, people aren't getting beat up or killed or anything like that, have at it.
I didn't look at it like that.
Yeah.
Why are forest fires good?
That's really kind of a hard question, because I know with evolution, a lot of the evolutionists will say that forest fires are good because they burn out the old dry material, and then, the vegetation can regrow and the whole cycle of life and all that. But, so in that aspect, forest fires are good. But when you have forest fires like we had in California over the summer, where the air is polluted so bad you can't go outside, and whole neighborhoods are being burned down, and people are having to evacuate, and people lose their homes and their lives and their animals, and then not to mention the animals in the forest or anything, there's a very fine line between bad and good when it comes to forest fires. I think what it's, even if they did like a controlled burn, like every once in a while here in Bakersfield, we'll see like a controlled burn to get, to get rid of the fire, the fire hazards, you know what I mean? Like they'll get rid of all the dry brush and stuff like that, so that if anything does catch, it'll be easily contained, so in that sense, to burn away the old to get to the new, again, good and bad. To burn away the old to get to the new, to continue the cycle of evolution, because everything is evolves, whether we like it or not, like Twitter. But in the sense that when you get forest fires that aren't started naturally, like there are forest fires started by a gender reveal. I saw that.
I saw that.
I lost my shit over that. I was just like, what are you doing? Come on, you're going to burn down a national forest because you wanted to know what your baby was going
to be? I saw that.
What is wrong with people?
What the hell is wrong with people? Okay, so where can we like you, stalk you, follow you, all that fun stuff?
Okay, you can like me at Archangel Crew on Twitter. You can follow my blog at meredithsilverman.com, and you can see me on your videos. You can see me on this video with Ashley Collins. Dude, you're awesome.
Yes, and we're gonna do this again when the next national scandal happens.
Yes, definitely. You can watch Meredith rant for 20 minutes on what that is.
Do you really think that there'll be a negative reaction to this vaccine, or do you think that all will be well?
I think that there will be people who will probably refuse to take it in the first go round. Kind of like when a new operating system of an iPhone comes out and it's got bugs. You know what I mean? And I think once they debug it and once it's really safe for everybody to take, I think if people didn't take it, they would be foolish. I mean,
Yeah.
now I know there's a lot of people who are like anti-vaccine and anti, I don't want to put things in my body. What if the government's going to be listening to me? Guess what? Government's
Yeah,
listening to
yeah.
you anyway. Do you have a smartphone?
Yeah.
Government's listening to you. The end. But I think that it would be a very positive, I think it'll be overall a very positive, reaction. And honestly, I think the only people who would probably have a negative reaction to it are the people like, I'm not putting on no mask and get me wearing no vaccine. Okay, well, go be sick over there because I'll be first in line. Because I don't want to get
sick. Meredith, you're so funny.
Oh, thank you.
Why are you so funny?
I get it from my mom. My mom is funnier than I am. And that's the God's honest truth.
So last question. Any advice, this is a very selfish question, but any advice to essential workers who hate their job right now?
That's a really, really tough question. And I think, honestly, I know when I hated my job and I hated people and I hated the people I worked with, I tried to gain some compassion of any little drop I could. But honestly, even that wasn't enough. So I think, honestly, the best advice I could give would be to however they could, keep their sense of humor. Find something privately to laugh at. You don't want to, and even if it's like one of those things where you're like, oh my God, I'm going to hell for laughing at this, but it's funny and you laugh and you feel better. You know what I mean? They don't call it gallows humor for nothing. I think that, like I said, keeping a sense of humor and finding just anything that'll make you laugh, even if it's something like, this is messed up, I'm going to hell, but it's funny, so I don't care. But to keep their sense of humor and try to remember that, which is hard to do when people are just so crummy to you and they're, and I think I would, and to speak up, I would say, hey, I'm just trying to help you out. Hey, I'm just trying to do my job. Hey, I understand that you're upset and cranky. I'm upset and cranky too. I've been here 2,000 hours straight and I've had dinner. I got to take a poop, when we kind of keep our humanity and stay connected with our fellow human beings and remember that, a lot of people say, we're all in this together. Well, we really are all in this together. I mean, we're all on this planet together. We all kind of got to try to get along best we can, even though, some people make it extraordinarily difficult. And those are the ones that you laugh at, go, oh God, did you see the afro on that? Ooh, girl. And just do your best to try to make to laugh, to have compassion for other people, to have compassion for yourself. Self-care is really, really, really important right now. And to not, push yourself to the limit. But I think mostly keeping a sense of humor, because once you lose your sense of humor, man, you don't got nothing. That's been my experience. I see a lot of people on Twitter who have gone through just terrible, terrible, terrible stuff. And they say, dark humor it sounds dark as hell, but it keeps us from breaking.
Yeah.
I
love that advice.
So yeah, keep your sense of humor however you can. Like I said, if I promise nobody's really going to hell for laughing at anything unless it's, well, anyway, whatever. That's fine. When it's a matter of keeping your sense of humor or losing your mind and just throttling somebody to death, it's better to laugh at them than strangle them. That's what I always say. How's that?
Oh my God, is that what you want? I'm gonna say that from now on.
So next time you want to strangle somebody, just laugh at them and just smile. It'll be fine. I'm gonna kill you now. It's just fine. Smile. They won't know what you're up to.
You're so funny. I appreciate you. And we're so doing this again next year.
Yay!
Let's do a reaction to when Biden gets.
Yeah, we can do it like the weekend after. What's that?
No. Is the word officiated?
Inaugurated? Once he's, I guess inaugurated, officiated. Once we can call him Mr. President. I make up words all the time, so I don't even know if half of what I'm saying is right. But yeah, I think once Joe Biden gets officiated, I will be the first one to be jumping up and down, going, "Woo! Now we can call him Mr. President! Oh, I love him."
Do you think that Trump will go on the Joe Rogan podcast or no?
He probably, I think he'll probably go on whatever he can to grip his little fleeting little fame in his tiny little hands and blather on to his little cult of, flying monkeys. And if he didn't, I'd be surprised. I think he'll probably.
Sorry, I feel like I'm like holding you hostage, and I.
No, not at all.
I know that we both need to eat because it's late here, but it's early-ish there. But
yeah.
I think there's a problem with rich kids where, and I'm quoting something where when you have everything that you want, what is there to complain about? And he is a rich kid.
Yeah.
He's, like he grew up with wealth.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like, look at Willow Smith and the other Smith and all these other rich kids, Miley Cyrus, where it's like, I have nothing to complain about, so I'm just going to be upset about every little thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that he's the real life version of that we're witnessing. What are your thoughts on that?
I noticed that a lot of very wealthy people are also very entitled, and they'll take all kinds of risks that somebody who doesn't have money will take, because it's all about I have everything. So, I need to feel alive. I need to have this experience, or I need to, try to crush this person under my thumb like a bug. And I need to, and I think sometimes money changes people. I think people think when some people, I shouldn't say all people, because there are some very wealthy people who are very philanthropic, and they're about giving back, and they're not just about everything's about me and me. And I think that it just depends. A lot of wealthy people are very, like I said, they're very entitled, and they use that to feel superior. And they're going to treat other people like crap, And so I've lost my whole train of thought. What was the question
again? Do you think that the way that, there's a wheel broke on my chair?
Oh, crap. So, I'm sorry.
No, me too. But, what is the incentive to being rich? Because right now it seems very scary.
Oh, I see. Okay, what is the incentive to being rich?
Yeah.
To a rich person, I think it's to have everything and keep everything. A lot of rich people I know are the most stingiest, selfish people on the planet. They have it, their incentive is to keep it, and they're not going to let anybody else have it. I think for somebody who doesn't have money, the incentive to be rich is, to be at a point where you don't have to worry about money. You know what I mean? Like somebody who's been poor all their life, or, or just scratching by, or even, to have enough money so you would never have to worry about money again would be just a huge blessing, just to be able to say, oh my God, my neighbors are assholes and I don't want to, so I'm going to pick up and move. I'm just going to sell this house and go buy a new one, And I think it would be, but then, money can change people. Money can corrupt people, And there's a lot of people who lose themselves in the pursuit of money. They lose their humanity, and they lose their consciousness, or they lose their conscience. You know what I mean? They're willing to just do anything to get that money, and they don't care who they have to step on to do it. They don't care upon whose back they have to do it. So, it's very. But when you're born into it and you have all this money, it's like, I'm just going to make more money, or I'm going to do everything I can to hold on to this money. Because I think a lot of people, I see a lot of workaholics who are very wealthy, and like the guy I used to work for, that man worked 24/7. He was a millionaire, probably multimillionaire. That man worked 24/7. Even on vacation, he was working. And even, he'd be like in Hawaii, he'd be working. And I'd be getting emails. So like, you're on vacation. What the hell are you? But it's like this weird mindset where it's like, mine. Remember, what was it, Scrooge McDuck? No, or Daffy Duck? No, mine. And not for you. And so it's a very, very strange mindset. I would be, I've often wondered, I always talk about, you see me on Twitter talking about, waiting Publishers Clearinghouse, they always I always enter their sweepstakes because I always think to myself, maybe someday and they'll come. I think if Publishers Clearinghouse came to my door, I think I would probably faint dead away. I would wet my pants, I would faint dead away, and then it'd probably be gone. Be like, oh, well, she don't need the money. She did. But, no, I just think that, and I've often wondered to myself, what would life look like if I had like this, unending supply of money? I think everybody thinks about that at some point, but it's like, what would you really do with it? Do you get bored? It's like, once you have everything, what do you do? Do you get bored? And there's nothing to look forward to. And I think that's when a lot of wealthy people get into like drugs, like really like scary hard drugs, you know what I mean? Because they're looking for something to make them happy, and they think that, they say, there's an old saying talking about money can't buy happiness, but I always say, but it can rent it for a while. You know what I mean?
It's true.
So I think that you just have to be, I think, again, it's in the way that people are raised. People are raised with money and they're raised to be, philanthropic and they're raised to give back. It's one thing, but if like people are raised that, it's all for me and none for you. And, they're all they're interested in doing is just keeping all their little monies to themselves. And, they're just like these wizened little, like inside, you look at their inside face and they're like these wizened little trolls of people looking like Gollum, like, oh, it's all mine, it's mine. What am I going to do? And I mean, and it just makes me wonder if these people are just absolutely miserable,
Yeah.
They have everything, but they're miserable. And it just blows my mind because it's like, you have all the money in the world. What the hell is your problem? But again, there's a solid example of money can't buy happiness. I think that, I guess it just depends on how people were brought up and what they aim to do with that money. I think that's why a lot of wealthy people that are, like they give back, like, people think to themselves, I have all this money and I can't spend it in 20 lifetimes. So I'm going to build schools and I'm going to give it to, the poor people. And then, it's like, I often think to myself, if like people like Jeff Bezos and, I know Bill Gates gives back and I know Jeff Bezos gives back, but if they, but there's, it just, I guess, to put it succinctly, it astounds me that we have the amount of homelessness and hunger in this country. And, if the 1%, I guarantee you the 1% could probably solve the homelessness and the hunger like that. But it's, I think that, but then I know there's another mindset because I've known some very, very wealthy people. Well, if I give my money all away, what will I have? Well, so don't give your money all away. There's a piece of scripture I read. I remember reading it in my religion class, and it had to do with, give enough to where everybody can, if I eat, everybody eats. You know what I mean? Spread it around, kind of like spread the wealth around enough so everybody's, working, everybody's got food, the fact that we are even food insecure in this country astounds me. With all the wealth that we also have in this country. Like I watch like $1 Million Listing and you see these people and they're buying like $45 million houses with like 17 bedrooms and 18 bathrooms and a movie theater, a bowling alley. And it's just like, and they're people like, they're not even like movie stars. They're people like that, nobody would ever heard of that could probably go, go shopping in public and you would never know who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, it blows my mind. But then again, I have never had that kind of money in my life, so maybe it's different. I don't know. If I tell you what, if I come into billions of dollars,
let us know. Let us know what
I'll let you know. I'll let you know what it's like. I'll be like, oh, I got all this money, graphic. Me personally, I would be thanking on my knees, thanking God every day, and I would be giving back. I'd be volunteering down at this and giving back to that, and making sure that I had enough money to live and dividends and all that stuff. I think I would try to be smart with it. So now that I've gone on for 20 minutes over that.
No, you're fine. No, that was a great answer. And I'm sorry. Apparently everyone's flying out right now. I'm sorry for the airplanes that are flying past.
Oh, okay. There's been
like 6. I'm like, yo, who's flying right now? But But I really appreciate your patience. Thank you so much
my
for being so
pleasure.
patient and letting me eat. Thank you.
Girl, you gotta eat.
I need to get better at my eating schedule. But we're for sure gonna do this again next year.
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you. It'll just be me, Mom, Matthew, and our little three of us in our little house with our little turkey.
All right, I'll talk to you later, girl.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.